Welcome back to This Day in Irish History. I'm your host, Raymond Welsh. Before we dive into today's story, if you'd like to explore other significant events that happened on this day in Irish history, visit thisdayirishhistory.com. The link is in the episode description. Now, let's journey back to March 25th, 2001, when cameras began to roll in Ballymun, Dublin, on a production that would bring one of the darkest days in modern Irish history to the screen, Bloody Sunday. On that spring morning, the Ballymun flats, iconic for their stark post-war architecture, were transformed into 1972 Derry. Over 2,000 extras gathered, many of them locals, dressed in period clothing and carrying placards echoing the civil rights demands of the early 70s. The housing complex, due for redevelopment, became the unlikely stage for one of the most emotionally charged film productions ever undertaken on the island. It was a powerful choice, not just for practical reasons, but symbolic too. Ballymun, a community deeply affected by economic hardship and marginalisation, became a mirror for Derry in 1972, a city whose people had long struggled under the weight of discrimination and conflict. The film, directed by Paul Greengrass and starring James Nesbitt as civil rights leader Ivan Cooper, aimed to recreate the events of January 30th, 1972, a date seared into the collective memory of Ireland. On that day, British soldiers from the 1st Battalion Parachute Regiment opened fire on unarmed demonstrators in Derry, killing 13 people outright. A 14th would die later from injuries. The march had been organised by the Northern Ireland Civil Rights Association to protest against internment without trial, a policy that overwhelmingly targeted the nationalist community. What began as a peaceful demonstration ended in horror, and Bloody Sunday became a global symbol of injustice. Greengrass approached the story with a commitment to raw realism. He employed a documentary style, shooting with handheld cameras and working in chronological order to allow the cast and extras to experience the emotional escalation of the day. Many scenes were filmed in long, uninterrupted takes, adding to the immersive quality of the final product. The use of real-time pacing and naturalistic performances blurred the lines between drama and reality. It was not just a film, it was a visceral reenactment. James Nesbitt's portrayal of Ivan Cooper was especially poignant. Cooper, a Protestant politician who championed Catholic civil rights, represented a rare voice of unity in a deeply divided society. Nesbitt's performance captured both the hope of the movement and the devastation that followed. For many viewers, particularly those from the north, it wasn't just a performance. It was a haunting reflection of lived experience. The filming process itself was marked by intense emotion. Survivors of Bloody Sunday and relatives of those killed were consulted throughout the production. Some even appeared in the film. Their involvement was crucial, not just for authenticity, but for healing. At a time when the official narrative of Bloody Sunday remained a source of pain and dispute, the film offered a platform for those whose voices had long been silenced. When Bloody Sunday premiered at the Sundance Film Festival in 2002, it stunned audiences. Critics praised its unflinching honesty and emotional power. It won the World Cinema Audience Award and later received the Golden Bear at the Berlin International Film Festival. But more importantly, it reached people. In homes across Ireland and Britain, viewers grappled with the truths it laid bare. Even in Westminster, the film was said to have influenced political perspectives. The timing was critical. In 1998, the British government had launched the Saville inquiry to re-examine the events of Bloody Sunday. The film helped sustain public pressure for transparency and accountability. In 2010, 9 years after filming began in Ballymun, the Saville Report was published. It concluded that the killings were unjustified and unjustifiable, a finding that led then Prime Minister David Cameron to offer a historic public apology. While that apology came decades too late for many families, the film's role in shaping public sentiment and reinforcing calls for justice cannot be overstated. So, as we reflect on March 25th, 2001, we remember not only the start of a film production, but the continuation of a long fight for truth. The choice to recreate Derry's tragedy in Ballymun united two communities shaped by hardship and resilience, and reminded the world that art, when done with care and integrity, can be a powerful force for remembrance, empathy, and change. Thank you for joining me on this journey through Ireland's rich past. Please like and subscribe, and until next time, I'm Raymond Welsh. Slán go fóill.